Hello, friends. I'm back for what is probably going to be a very short update. Even though it's been a month and a half since my last video, um, don't really have a lot to talk about or to show. Because my life has not really been that exciting in the last month and a half. But hi, I was feeling a little under the weather today, so I took the day off from work and have the house to myself. So I just figured, I'm feeling a little crappy, but we'll get a video going. My only fear is my phone, even though it's brand new, acts a little janky sometime. So I may need to do some weird uploading type stuff, editing. Sorry, because I hate technology. Because I had accidentally pressed record before wanting to record, but then it wouldn't let me actually press stop recording, and it didn't save that minute-and-a-half video. So that's what I'm worried about. So about 15-20 minutes in, if we even go that long, might need to press. There might be a weird cut just because I want to make sure that the video actually saves. Hi, welcome. My name is Kyle, and if you're new here, this video is primarily about cross-stitch. I'm an elusive male cross-stitcher, and one that's got a Flosstube. Best new thing this week. This is what I'm all into. I just got done watching Teresa Vanette's most recent video from January. What I'm all into this week is August Uncommon Tea. It was suggested by a coworker of mine. And I'm reviewing all the 10 flavors that came in the box on my Instagram. This one is, I don't remember what it is, but it's not my favorite. So yeah, I hope everyone's been well. The most exciting thing that I think has happened since I last spoke with y'all, your boy's fully vaccinated. I got my Fauci ouchies, and we're doing great. We're feeling great. I will say after my second shot, I didn't have any like immediate side effects the next day. I started getting a lingering headache about 6 p.m. the following day, and then I was just really exhausted for about 3 days, and my headache didn't really go away. Other than that, I'm doing fine. Really excited because my parents back home are now fully vaccinated. So, and per the CDC guidelines, I can be in the same room with them without a mask. So that's on my thing to do because I have not seen my family in over a year. So, I do want to say thank you to everyone who commented on my last video, wishing me a welcome return. I really felt the love. I'm glad I brought some new people in to my videos. So if you're one of those newer people, I hope to not take another year and a half or however long off from this channel. So hopefully you will enjoy what I've got to offer. I don't have a lot. Usually it's just anxiety and low back pain and the occasional gas. So I've got acid reflux, something awful. Not today so much. But just know what you're getting yourself into if you didn't already look at my past videos. So, and the weird thing is, I don't know if I'm back sooner than I thought it would be or longer than I thought it would be. It's been a month and a half. I had no mind frame of when my return back would be. So, figure this was a good time as any, because I at least got a little bit to show you. We've got some new starts and everything since the last video, but it's going to be a little bit shorter because I don't have a whole lot to show. But before we get into everything, I do want to do 2 quick shout outs. Since my last video, we have a new Flosstuber whom I adore. I've been following her Instagram for quite some time. Chrissy, finally a farm girl. Her channel is beautiful. She does the model stitching for a lot of Twin Peak primitive stuff. Definitely a need to check out. She's just so much fun. She had her daughter on one of the videos. Her daughter's a stitcher too. And that video was kind of, there was a lot of whiplash because when Chrissy's got her style and then her daughter's got like a completely different style, it's like, whoa. But yeah, definitely go check her out. 110% recommend checking out Chrissy. The other one I want to shout out, and I've been watching her past couple of videos. I'd never heard of her, and I want everyone to please go watch her because she does not have near as many subs or views as she should, but she's, I think what really caught me was I was just scrolling through my recommendeds, and I saw the picture of her, and she was holding up the current whip for what eventually I would like to start is the Nativity from Marbeck Designs. She's working on this, and that person is Judy City Stitcher. Her most recent video, I think, was just last night. It's a lengthy one. It's over an hour and a half. A lot of it, she's talking about frames and that good stuff. So please check her out. Her whip of this is just gorgeous. And she's also doing Anne Morrison from Hands Across the Sea. I don't know if she's a watcher of mine, but I've been lurking on hers for the past couple of weeks. And I haven't commented because I wanted to give her a shout out on this video, and then I'm hoping, and I wanted to do it early enough in the video so that all of y'all could go rush and watch her stuff. She's very sweet. She's fun to watch. 10 out of 10 recommend. There's that. And eventually I will want to start this. We'll see how that goes. So yeah. There is that. So, we're here for other stuff as well. I'll show you what I've been working on. We'll start with my new start. It's I think I started this either same day as my last video or it was that weekend. I started the 2020 Midwest Cross Stitchers Retreat exclusive from the guest designer, Teresa Vanette of Shakespeare's Peddler. This is called Oh! And me being me, I guess I'm a sucker for torture. Because I told myself I don't ever want to stitch on 40 count, and the sewing method makes no sense to me. So I decided to start stitching this in hand on the called for 40 count with the sewing method. This is about a week's worth of work. Oh yeah, speaking of technology, my camera most likely won't focus, and I don't know why. My back camera focuses just fine. Front facing won't focus. So, I got to be at a little bit of a distance away. But yeah, this is about a week's worth of work, I'm going to say. All sewing in hand. Sewing method, stitching in hand. It is kitted with Weeks Die Works and 1 Gentle Art. Here's the the floss. It smells like a cardboard box because that's what it's been stored in. What can I say? I think it's a really nice, simple stitch because, as you can see, it's just like, you know, got the house and everything. Which is funny because I don't care for houses and samplers. There, I said it. I know a lot of people love houses in their samplers, and for some people, that's their favorite motif to do. You do you, boo. I'm not a big fan of houses. I like the big old giant butterflies and the religious verses that are common in samplers, even though I'm not religious. But anyway, so yeah, like I said, it was a retreat exclusive. I don't think she plans on releasing this until November of this year. I did not personally go to the retreat, but I was a paid attendee. Farm girl who hosts those, she did not fill spots for people that weren't going because of the pandemic. But if you had a place, even if you weren't there, you could opt to get one of the kits. So, of course, I had to because I want to feel special and tantalize people with stuff they can't get for a while, or if ever, depending on what the project is. So there's that. I will say, when I first started, or when I first looked at all this stuff, I had to message Teresa because I was always worried that 40 count was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this. It's not bad. The reason I messaged her was because I was looking at the fabric and I'm just like, it looks like 36 count, you know? So I had to make sure that's what she got me, and it was the 40 count. So, I mean, it's not as bad. I don't know why I'm doing it in hand with the sewing method. Like I said, I'm a sucker for torture. So there's that. I have not worked on it since that first week, but I think I made some really good progress on that in that first week. The other whip that I worked on, and I only worked on this a couple of days after my last video because then I got to the stopping point I wanted to get to, was The Fortunate Traveler by Teresa Wentzler. I don't remember how much of this I had done on my last video. I just know that I got to my stopping point afterwards. So, here's where I am. Jesus. Here's where I am. And, oh my goodness, it's like I've never done a video before. So my stopping point was to finish this side. My original plan was actually to keep stitching and finishing the last part, but there's too much more that I still need to do on the other side. And I'm just like, no, kind of want to work on something else. So, but I love this so much. And I think even though I still have a lot to go, once I finish this center, what do you want to call it? Mural picture, I don't know. The center thing, it's going to go a lot faster because then there's all the negative space and everything. Even though it's definitely busy, but this is the only full coverage part. So, start to see a little bit more progress on there. I'm a little bit worried about the back stitching on here, but that's okay. Don't be intimidated by Teresa Wentzler's. I know I said this on my last video. They're not that bad. I mean, they're not. Looking at the floss and symbol list, I mean, it might get a little bit overwhelming, but it's not that bad. One of these days, I'll do a tutorial on how I organize my Teresa Wentzler, so then maybe some of you people have wanted to, but have just been hesitant because of the sheer enormity of a Teresa Wentzler. Maybe if I do a tutorial, that'll ease y'all's minds, because it's not that bad. It's not that bad at all. And then finally, Just had a page finish. Depending on when I upload this video, it's possible Instagram probably already saw it. And it's my mystery sampler. A couple of people have already figured out the actual design. Good for them. Eventually I'm going to be stitching the person's name. So, I mean, once I start the next page, I will probably end up revealing, who the designer is, what's the name of the design. I really kind of like that people are enjoying sort of the mystery motif by motif reveal, because it's like, you don't know what's coming next. And if I were to just say, hey, this is who it is, this is the designer, then you'll already know. Because there's another row of pages down here, and there's a lot more fun motifs coming. This was the page finish that I just had last night. This motif, I've been waiting this entire time to get to. Because this, as you can tell, is just chock full of color. And this motif is just so pretty. It's got your muddled colors, like up here. But then you've got the lovely bright blues here. I am stitching this on 37 count Wild Honey. And that is Legacy linen. I think I said Lakeside last time, but this is Legacy linen. And it's stitching it beautifully. This calls for NPI silks, and I am stitching with the NPI silks. My opinion on stitching with NPI silks, especially after stitching as much as I have of this, I don't think I want to do that again. I went all out because when I first saw this sampler, I'm like, ooh, this looks like a very special sampler, and it is. Very fun to stitch. I feel like I am running into a couple of snags with the silk. It could be because also I'm stitching 2/2 with the NPI silks, which may run into an issue later if I run out of a certain color. But like I'm definitely noticing in places, because the whole thing about silks was it gives it a nice sheen look. But like, I'm gonna be honest and say if I were to just look at this, I would not be like, oh, that was stitched in silk. I could easily think that this was stitched in cotton DMC. And I get with silks, there are certain colors you can really only find in those silks, and you just kind of have to get a close-ish match with DMC. I mean, if I were to maybe start over, I think I would just go with the DMC. That's just, and hey, if you like stitching the silk, and it could be it's not getting that sheen look because I am using 2 strands of silk over 2 on 37 count. Could totally be the issue and why I'm just not, I don't want to say not satisfied, but I'm not getting the results I expected with using NPI or just silk in general. Now, having said that, it's still amazing. I mean, look at the colors. How can you not think that that's just gorgeous? But I will probably continue to stitch on this. We'll just see what happens after I get done with this video. So that's my whips. If you tell, my voice is cracking a little bit because I don't know, I got some anxiety. So yeah, that's all I worked on. And so, if you expected more, I'm sorry, I'm trying. Okay. Next. That was it for whips. Okay. Let's move on to haul. I just have 3 pieces of haul. So let's start with this one. I got this off of one of the Stash Unload groups. This is one I've been on the lookout for a while, and I think I even mentioned it in my last video. The Minstrel by Teresa Wensler. I mean, come on. Just look at it. I just love the big dragon. I kind of like, especially with Teresa Wensler's. When you see images like this, you kind of create the story in your head of the situation going on in the picture. I mean, here I see this dragon just chilling, listening to this guy play his lute, and he's just enjoying it. It's been one of the last things I've needed from Teresa Wensler. I'm glad I have it. I don't know when I will ever get to it, but I'm really happy that I was able to at least find it on a Stash Unloading group. And I had actually posted this on one of the In Search of cross-stitch groups on Facebook, and somebody had commented saying, hey, such and such on this page is selling it right now, go get it. And I went to go get it, and I got it. So thank you to the seller for that. Now, my next 2 pieces of haul, I wish I had more, but I made the mistake one night of watching Lisa Smith Kindred Stitcher, Brendan the Serial Starter, and Carol Saltbox Stitcher all in the same night. So I wanted samplers. I wanted more samplers. So I went to eBay and just typed in cross-stitch sampler. I'm in a sampler mood. I only have 2 pieces of haul that I got, but I am on eBay almost every night looking at samplers, whether it's, you know, reproduction kits or whatnot, or I was even browsing actual antique samplers to possibly buy. But those are not, those aren't the cheapest things to get. So the first thing that I got was, I was a little disappointed because it said it was new, and it was a kitted sampler. This is the Good Huswife Peacock sampler, and that's as good as it's going to get because, like I said, my camera's not going to focus. And apparently this is hard to find, maybe. I don't know. I don't know much about the Good Huswife, to be honest with you. I got it, I think, at a really good deal because it came kitted up. There's only 4 colors. I think this looks like 32 count. I think the listing said 36, but this looks, just based on holding my other sampler, it looks like 32 count. But I will say, I could tell that this was not new and that somebody had already started the project. The first clue was opening the linen. There were, like, you can even see right there, remnants of floss that looked like it had been frogged out. And you can sort of even see a little bit of the holes. And actually, I didn't notice this until now. Hoop mark. I did not notice that until just showing it to you guys. So it's not new. And another big indicator, because at the time, you know, up until seeing that hoop mark, I'm just like, okay, maybe it's just whatever. Somebody marked on the chart. So, is it new? No. But based on what I got it for, and after some research after, I still got a really good deal on it. So I'm happy about that. Don't know when I'll ever start that. I got it mainly because the peacocks just look goofy. So there's that. And then maybe it was the verse that got to me, but this is from the Exemplarly, the Anne Hill sampler. There's that. I wish it would focus. I wish it would focus so you can see. Fully kitted. What is it? What linen did it come with? It came with 35 count linen, and it looks like the weave is like really open, and then all the DMC. Yeah. Was really happy about that purchase. And I'm sure more is going to be coming because I might have had a little too much to drink a couple of nights later, and eBay was open the next morning when I woke up. So there's that. That is my haul. Just want to make sure. Yeah. So I will move on now to something that I don't usually make my own section for. But a lot of Flosstubers do. It's their plans or what they want, what they would like to start. So me being in a sampler mood, I debated on whether or not I wanted to go back to a couple of sampler whips that I already had. The first one, and I've actually been missing working on this one, it's been a while, was Harriet Hartland 1782 from Hands Across the Sea Samplers. To this day, that is still my favorite Hands Across the Sea sampler. I don't even know. I think I finished 2 pages of it. It's been a while. I'd have to go look at my Instagram to see when the last one I actually worked on it was. This one, I believe, is I did on 32 count. But I don't remember. I'll have to look. But that's how far I got. I mean, I obviously have a long way to go, but I loved working on this. And I've been really missing working on it. So I think this is what I might end up working on. Maybe. Because if y'all follow my Instagram, y'all know I really don't have set plans for anything. So there's a possible get back to work on. This is the needle minder I've got attached to that Harriet Hartland. I wish it would focus. I really wish it would focus, but it's not going to. Might have to look into that. But so yeah, there's that. And then another sampler that I want to get back to, and I actually showed this on my last video. And this one I had the urge to start just because I was watching Carol Saltbox and Brendan Serial Starter and Lisa. None of them are working on this, but just the general aesthetic of their videos. Jane Cowie from the Scarlet Letter. Scarlet House. Sorry, not Scarlet Letter. Jane Cowie, 1850. I won't pull out the whip, but that's what she said. You know, I have the first page finished, and you know, the butterflies, and yes, there are houses, but they're not giant houses. I would really like to get back to working on this at some point because it was an easy stitch. I got a lot done quickly. It's just a matter of getting back to actually work on it. So that's a possibility, and maybe y'all can help me decide what I want to do. That's also a bad idea, because then people will just tell me to buy more. A possible new start. Possible, because I've got it kitted. And this was actually meant to be my birthday start, like 2 years ago. I now finally have it kitted. It's Angel of the Sea from Lavender and Lace. I've been wanting to start this for years. Finally got the beads, the floss, and I showed the fabric one time. This was from Lori at Seraphim Fabrics. Now, to me, and it's probably going to show up, because from what I remember, it looked different on camera, like way different. To me, it looks very sea-like. The fabric name is Noname. And I had this on 28 count linen. To me, it's got like the sea foamish, bluish, and greens with just patches of brown here and there to give it, you know, sort of a sea, underwater, beachy look. But if I remember anything from last time I showed this, which is already like 2 years ago, it showed, the brown really showed up on camera. So let's see. Yeah. So, you guys, I understand that this looks really busy. All of these dark patches are not that dark in person. So, it's in person, the fabric is nowhere near as busy as it looks on camera. All of these darker patches are very, very muddled. I mean, it's bizarre at how much darker that they are showing up on camera. It's so weird, because I even had people reach out to me after I showed this, being like, ooh, that's like really busy. That's really going to distract from the piece. And I agree. Just seeing it on camera, I would think the same thing. But in person, and I wish there was some way to like do an accurate representation of what this fabric looks like, these dark patches are not that dark at all. So it's really, it's bizarre. So, but anyway, that's an idea of an eventual start. And I guess I had this kitted up in 28 count. I'm smart. But with the dyeing process, I'm sure it is closer to a 30 count. So, because I want them big. I like my ladies. Never mind. So anyway, there's that. Now, as I said earlier in the video, I am fully vaccinated. I wanted to start a project for being fully vaccinated. I reached out to the Stitchery Nook in Osage, Iowa, be like, hey, can we get this kitted up for me? And they're like, yeah. And this project, I have not started yet because Witchelt is on like back order for like 5 weeks. So they let me know that they pulled all the thread. They're just waiting for the fabric to come in. And the project that I have kitted up, partially anyway, is the Berlin Woolwork sampler from the Needles Praise. I asked them to kit up the first 4 parts of this series. There are 9 parts. I asked them just to kit up the first 4 because I don't know how long it's going to take me to actually get through all of them. And I'm doing it on... What really sucks is, like, it doesn't really give specific dimensions in the package. But it is stitched on 24 count Congress cloth. And so that's what I requested to be ordered. And it is going on an 18 by 52 piece of Congress cloth. From what my research has shown, the 24 count with those dimensions will be plenty. And it'll all be done over one. I'm excited because I've never done like anything on Congress cloth. That's an odd count to me. So here's just the motifs, and I only pulled part 1, but here's just the motifs in the first part. And just like briefly browsing all of the parts, most of this sampler is done in tent stitch or satin stitch. There's honestly not a whole lot of just cross stitch. But my goal, once I get this, is to do 1 motif a day. according to this, there are 106 motifs. So, one motif a day should be about 3-ish months to finish. Now, as you can see, there are definitely different size motifs. Just looking here, like, I'm pretty sure this little guy right here is considered one motif, but then you got giant ones like this motif. This thing is all one motif right there, but then you got like the smaller ones and stuff. So some of these motifs may take me more than one day to stitch, but some of these smaller ones will make up for it. So my goal is on average do one motif a day when all that stuff comes in. So that's my plans and everything. We're going on 35 minutes. This actually is about 15 minutes longer than I thought it would be. So, and then one other thing, and I'm glad I looked at my notes here. I'm going to be model stitching for someone. For 2 people, actually. But I actually have the stuff in now for one of them. And I don't remember if they said I could say who they are or not. I definitely can't say what it is I'm stitching. I will say it's going to be interesting because what they sent me is not my style, like, at all, like, ever. I never. I would never see myself being like, yeah, I'm going to kit that up and stitch it. Yeah. But I'm excited just because this person is a really good friend of mine. So be happy to do their work for them. Let's see. That's it. That's all I got. So with this last little bit of time here that I've got, because this is relatively short compared to everything else I have out. When it does get to points, because I have a feeling my videos are going to be pretty short for a while, especially with me starting this model. I'm either going to start it probably this coming weekend. I want to fill this extra time that everybody's usually used to with something. So in the comments below, give me some suggestions on when my videos run short, what you would like me to do at the end of my videos. Do you want me to just chat? Do you want me to answer questions? Do you want me to do tutorials on something? Give me some suggestions. For today, I've actually got questions for all of you that I would love some assistance on. And I did post this question on Instagram, but I figured I would post it here as well because I think I would get a lot more comments. My fabric stash is disgusting. Like, let's be real. I don't have a fabric stash, really. And the fabric that I do have is most likely already kitted for something that I will start eventually. I don't have a stash of fabric where, because, like, let's say this didn't come with the fabric or whatnot, but one night I decide, oh, I really kind of want to start that. I've got some of the floss, but I can't start it because I don't have fabric for it. And really, whenever I get fabric, it's on a project-by-project basis. I see a new project I want to start. I will go on to 123 Stitch. I will go to the Stitchery Nook and Osage. I will kit fabrics with projects that I want to start right then and there. I don't have just an excess of fabric. So I would like some suggestions on how to build my fabric stash. The most common and really the only response that I got to that question when I posted on Instagram was joining Fabric of the Month clubs, which I think is a great way to build up a fabric stash. However, it seems to be, just from what I've seen, with Fabric of the Month clubs, they always have over-dyed fabric or hand-dyed fabrics, which I think might be the point of Fabric of the Month clubs. But it's like, let's say I've got an antique sampler, and the fabric that comes in that month is a bright red. I can't really use that for an antique sampler. And I will say that there are some, I don't know if there are any Fabric of the Month clubs that do just neutral, natural linens that aren't overly modeled or over-dyed in any way. Really, I'm just looking for suggestions on how to build up my fabric stash. Other than Fabric of the Month clubs. And maybe there is really no other way to do it. Because then there are situations where you go into, well, at least the Stitchery Nook and Osage does this, where they just have random scraps of fabric, but they're always like 8x8s or 6x6 inch pieces of fabric, or really odd cut fabrics. And if you've seen any of my stuff, I don't usually do smalls. So, I mean, getting fabric and having, if you're really into smalls, I think definitely doing it that way. And especially like on the unloading groups, I do see a lot of people have like lots of fabric, but they're all really weirdly cut fabrics. Which is like great if you're into smalls. I am not. And I'm just watching Brendan the Serial Starter and Carol Saltbox and, these people. They're just starting things all the time. I'm like, where did all your fabric stash come from? Do you, have dealers? I need to know. So maybe, what are some suggestions y'all got? How do you build your fabric stash? And if your only response is Fabric of the Month Club, great. What are some that you go to? Are there any that do just these neutral, natural linens? I would love to know, because I look through my sampler stash, my sampler box, and I just look at some of these designs. I'm like, oh my god, that would be great to start right now, but either what I have is too small, or I just don't have it. So, I'm not worried about my thread stash. My thread stash is fine. But yeah, what are just some suggestions? And I know price is definitely a factor, but I would love to know what y'all think. Also, leave a comment on how you would like me to fill the time if my time runs short. We're at 40-ish minutes, which is okay. But, so yeah. There's some things for y'all to think about. Help me out. Let's help each other out. We're all beautiful people. And I just really want chocolate. So yeah. I hope everybody has a great day. I'm going to think about what I want for lunch. I'm going to get this uploaded. And yeah. And if you guys have any questions for me, go ahead and leave them below. I can answer those on the next video, whenever that'll be. We'll see. We'll see how it all goes. Okay? So I love you all dearly. Keep being amazing. Let those fucks fly. And say no to acid. Take care.